is someone we love because she always keeps it real. She's been killing it all week. It's Amanda Thea. Now, before we get into girl chat, there's a little matter we need to address. Last night, Fox premiered season 2 of its hit show, The Masked Singer. And ever since the new season started running promos, many of our fans have been hitting us up saying that one of the characters sounds a little familiar. Like Gabrielle San Diego, who tweeted, "Hold up, is Adrian Houghton the flamingo?" The riff at the end of the Lady Marmalade had me like, whoa, I felt the Latin flavor with some cheetah spice and 3LW in there. So, A, do you want to tell us something?
I literally don't understand how people can think I can do this show at 4 o'clock in the morning and that show at night. Let's start there. No, I actually think it's really flattering because people are saying really nice things. Yeah. So that's dope. But at the same time, the answer is no.
No?
No.
I could have sworn it was you.
I feel like if I hear it, I'll know.
Yeah, I heard it.
I haven't seen the clip. I only saw one thing, and I know that people were writing comments in mine as well. Guys, those breasts are like, my breasts are big, but those breasts are like really big.
See, but I was looking at that flamingo.
Those are really big.
I don't know. I know my friend really well. And based on my calculations, you take off them big lashes and that head, you remove those heels, and it looks about 4'11" to me.
No,
guys, I'm not the only short person.
No, but it was a run.
I thought it was maybe Ally Brooke, but she's doing Dancing with the Stars.
No, it was a run that the flamingo did. And I heard a little bit of your voice.
Oh,
yes,
you heard it.
and it was like the cha-cha-cha.
No.
Do you think
it's not me?
Are you serious?
It's not me.
Well, if you were, you couldn't tell us anyway.
No.
Yeah.
But, no, but
Can we get into some girl chat?
Yeah,
exactly. Shall we? We all know that Demi Moore is an amazing actress, right?
Yeah.
However, Demi hopes that people will see her in a completely different light after reading her new memoir, Inside Out, which chronicles her career, relationships, and struggles from a very young age. In the book, Demi specifically discusses the trauma she's faced from being raped at the age of 15 to having to save her mother's life after she tried to commit suicide. Demi says, quote, "I remember using my small fingers to dig the pills my mother had tried to swallow out of her mouth. Something very deep inside me shifted then, and it never shifted back. My childhood was over." So ladies, do you agree with Demi that suffering trauma at such a young age can affect you for the rest of your life?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't deal with it. That's the thing. You have to, you know, it's hard. A lot of people repress it. Some people, they go with therapy. And that's why, you know, you have to figure out what's right for you. And evidently, you know, she's letting people know that she's been dealing with this, and it's like it's causing a lot of conversations which we need to have in this country. A lot of things are happening.
I appreciate her honesty, her transparency, because being able to open up about something like that is very serious. So I'm grateful, and I hope people read this book and maybe take away something from it. But what are your thoughts?
I think that what happens, I mean, I think we all are shaped by our histories and our experiences, et cetera, but I think sometimes we can feel trapped in them, like feeling like because it shaped us into a certain person, like that's who we are, we don't have a way of getting past that, or we don't have a way of finding a new place of maybe happiness or contentment. And I think some of us just feel like permanently scarred by things and by society's like stigma of things that have happened to us. And so that's why like therapy is so important and it is so necessary. And not all therapy is the same. I think all of us, you know, a lot of us,
we think someone's strapped to a chair.
We think it's just you lying on a couch, but there's art therapy, you know, there's regular like there's music therapy, there's meditation, there's all of these different ways that you can kind of deal with and release. But I just want to send the message that like who you were doesn't have to be who you are.
And you don't have to be what has happened to you.
No. You can change anything.
Have either of you girls ever experienced anything like that in your life?
No, but I think that I know people who have felt like they were trapped by this and they went to certain types of therapy.
Well, I know two people who never got the chance to go to therapy, and it actually affected their life decisions.
Wow.
Really?
Like I have a friend who had a very rough childhood with her mom, and now she's repeating that cycle with
children.
with her relationship now, her romantic relationship.
Yeah. I like what you just said about how it can happen to you, but it should not become you. You are the person that's going to inevitably be able to free yourself from that moment. And there's a part in Demi's book where she distinctly remembers when her childhood ended. And I will say I'm still dealing with this. But if you've been abused in your past, like I have, it's almost like all of a sudden you completely see this whole darkness come over you, and you all of a sudden know too much for a kid. You know, when you're a kid, you're innocent, you look to your parents as superheroes, everything's fluffy and cool, and your biggest responsibility is brushing your teeth and going to bed on time. But then all of a sudden when you feel a predator or you feel endangered, you don't feel safe, everything's scary. Lights turning off becomes scary. Talking to people becomes scary. Everything gets like that. So I did go through what I thought was therapy in my own way of kind of rebelling and moving forward. But I didn't realize that I was still jacked up until my mom moved in and lived with me while I was going through my divorce. Because my you know when you're it's so weird, but you're the most your worst self with the people that are close to you. So when my mom and I would fight, I would be nasty towards her. The words I would say towards her were biting, cold. I would turn from sweet to just all of a sudden like just so rude and so quick to her. And she'd be like, what's wrong with you? What is it? And it took time for me to realize that I never forgave her for not believing me when I told her years ago. And I was okay with him and what he had done to me, but I wasn't okay with my mom. And so I made a decision to talk to her about it. And for some reason, I have this series called Hello Hanae, and I just decided, I was like, I want to talk about this because I want to, it happens in Asian families a lot, where jacked up things happen in your family, and then you don't talk about it because Asian culture, it's embarrassing to make your family seem like you guys have issues. It's embarrassing to make you guys like you have problems. So I said, I want to talk about this because I don't want another little girl to waste her 20s, her 30s, her 40s to realize that, no, I don't deserve to live again under this guilt and this anger. So I had that coming out with my mom, and I have to tell you, I learned that you can't erase the bad memories of your past, but you can let go of the heavy attachment to them.
How did you do that?
You know what? I needed to hear from my mom. I did that, and you never know. By the way, if anybody has a problem to confront something with your family member, you're doing it for you. You're not doing it for their reactions. You have to remember the first. I knew that my mom and I can have a very fierce opinion, and sometimes she makes sense, and sometimes I'm like, I don't see it, but I get it. It's from your own understanding of whatever you're going through. But she heard me, she listened, and I just needed that. And then she said, I didn't know what to say. I was 16 when I had you. I was trying my best. So my empathy kicked in, and I understood her, and that closed the gap to make me go, my mom is human like me, and now she's learned to listen and be there for your kids no matter what. And that's what I needed. So now I'm careful, you know? I don't know if you guys...
So are you saying, because what I hear you're saying, Jeannie, is that it's about forgiveness. And a lot of us have an issue with forgiving. Like when you said the man, you know, you were okay. You weren't okay with what he did. You forgave him, and you didn't let him have power over you.
I didn't forgive him because I'll be honest. I released it. I let him go. I let him go as someone that I feared, and I know that I was a people pleaser up until like maybe just a couple years ago. I was like always wanting to make somebody happy because I don't want to cause strife, and I don't want to seem like the unpleasant one, which I think is what kind of got me into it in the first place. And so now, I know Dr. Drew's going to watch this and call me. I know. Dr. Drew saw me on this, and he was like, Jeannie, I want to talk to you.
Because there is still a child inside of you, which is what...
The whole inner child.
But just so people know, Dr. Drew watches the show, and the last time we had this discussion, it was for something else. He reached out, and because he had my number, he said, please give Jeannie my number.
Yes, he did. Which was the dopest thing in Hollywood I've ever had. I've never had another celebrity reach out to me and say, like, I'm here for you, and you need to still talk about this. So I am going through therapy for that very reason. But I need to let go of the guilt I have on myself. So in essence, I probably forgave myself. Yes, I forgave myself because I wasn't too nice. It wasn't my fault.
It was not your fault.
No, it wasn't my fault.
You were preyed upon.
Yes.
And they always prey upon the nice.
Yeah.
And then it makes you think that you're being weak. But it's like, no, I was just kind.
Yeah. And when things happen, you play it over again and again, and you think, what could I have done? Why didn't I do this instead? Why, you know, and so that is all the stuff you have to let go, and you have to realize that pain is my power, and today, if I'm not saying this for someone else, I'm not going to release somebody else that needed to know so that we stop the generations from continuing this.
I think on a daily basis, we all can be somewhat introspective and look at ourselves and say, well, why am I this way? Or why am I, you know? And I've had to even come to terms with myself of, like, I think coming into the industry at a really young age and moving out of my home with my parents at 14 years old, and being in the industry, and it's a tough industry.
Yeah.
I, at a really young age, learned how to turn off.
Turn off what?
Like my emotions. Like I have an on and yeah, and it's like bad, and I've had to learn how to undo some of those things that I've taught myself. Like someone literally could be barking and yelling at my face,
it's
and
like safety devices.
I literally don't hear them or see what they're saying to me, and I just will shut down. Like if someone hurts my feelings, I don't argue with them. I literally just shut down emotionally.
Where did that come from? Who was yelling at you?
I think, you know, when you are in the industry at a young age, I think people think they're trying to make you the best you can be by, like, being tough on you or telling you, you know, you can do this. It's just like, whether it's
like negative reinforcement.
Yes.
But
so
they
not
thought
my
that
parents,
they were
but
being
like,
tough on you.
Yeah.
So it's like a manager or something. Not, you know, putting nobody...
Yeah, not my
But
mom,
I think
not
they
my mom.
also think that you're an adult. Like, there's also, like, when you're young in the industry, you're working in a place where, like, there's a majority adults, and there's also, like, an inappropriateness.
They think they can turn to you and be like, get your ish together and da-da-da. And literally, I would just shut down. Like, I'd be like, okay, you say jump, I say how high.
Like, did you ever share that with your mom? Because you're so close to your mom.
Never. So I never told my mom if something went wrong. I never told my mom. I didn't want her to worry about me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I was very protective about, like, don't tell her if something's wrong. Don't tell her if I don't like something. Like, this is your dream. Like, you can, like, I just would literally... And for me, I didn't want to lose the dream either.
Yeah.
Like, people don't realize, like, you'll do things because you're like, this is my only shot. This is my only chance that I have. I'm not saying nothing.
Right.
I'm just going to be quiet and just make it work. Now, looking back, there's so many moments that I'm like, why didn't I speak up for myself? Or why didn't I speak up for the other people with me? I mean, there's just so many things, and you can have guilt about stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I even see traits of that now. Like, I'll never forget, I don't know what we were talking about, but, like, I don't even know if you know this, but, like, Tam either told Jeannie or somebody, like, sometimes you just don't know what Adrian's thinking. Like, you can't tell. But it's literally, right?
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, I think that.
Like, if I'm upset, like, you almost won't be able to know it.
Yeah.
But that's just because, like, that's a defense mechanism.
How are you working through that now?
And how did you become aware of it?
Yeah.
My husband made me aware of it. I think when people are really close to you, they, like, Israel literally in the beginning of our relationship would tell me, you can't push me away. Like, I'm not, like, I would literally be like, okay, so this is not gonna work. Like, I'm gonna, like, I literally would do that, and he would be like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not gonna do that. Like, you need to...
Stick it out.
Stick it, like, you need to deal with it, and
release, talk to me, tell me what you're feeling.
And that's so hard.
But you have to
meet... this show, too.
Yeah.
Man, even having this conversation, I'm like, oh, why? Like, you could see I'm fighting through it, because it's just so hard to say, like...
But it's finding safe spaces to do it. And I think if you meet somebody that makes that safe space happen, I think this show has a certain safe space about it. That's what therapy is about, like trying to create a safe space.
Yeah, till we get on the internet.
For you to swim. Well, the internet, and honestly, that's real, because I feel like the internets are becoming an unsafe space. And it really is scary to me, considering the amount of growth that we all need to do, like, personally, mentally, intellectually. And you want to be able to, like, have these conversations with other people. And the internet has, like, brought us together in a way that we may not have thought we could. You know, like, there's people that you're connected to, like, oh, well, I didn't even realize that someone else could share this. I will tell you, my Instagram has, like, been a source of actual growth for me.
A community.
Yeah, because there's times where, like, I'm going through something, and I'm an only child, so I'm used to kind of just, like, dealing with it right here. But, like, I put it out there, and then you'll have people that will, like, tell you, like, yeah, I've gone through that same thing.
Yes.
You know, I've experienced that as well. And sometimes you just need that, like, cosign of just like, you ain't crazy, girl,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
Or like, you are crazy, girl, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But that safe space, especially like in a romantic relationship, like I've been in a romantic relationship where like for the first time, I'm like, oh, like I can learn in this, I can grow in this, I can show my booty and then be like, okay, learned that, all right. Let's feel that.
I would get in arguments at times and not be able to let go.
Oh, girl.
Of what, like, just because if I said it, it's just like so many things like that you're like, why are you that way? Yeah. And I think we're always trying to find ourselves and figure out why are we the way that we are.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Wow.
Really get awareness
What a great
behind
conversation.
But when you get unafraid to actually look at like, wait, why am I like this? That's when things start.
Yes,
to
and remember that self-compassion is always a greater motivator than self-criticism because the driving force is love, not fear.